If there was one thing that Revy hated more than anything else, it was running errands for Dutch. Normally, that was the type of stuff he did by himself, but he was going to be too busy fixing up the Lagoon along with Benny, so that meant she would have to be the one on errand duty. And worse, Dutch decided to send Rock along, thinking that things would go by a bit more smoother. Rock was starting to make a name for himself in Rowanapur, the newest member of Lagoon Company, the straight-dressed, button-up shirt, well-dressed groomed tie and pants and slacks, the everyday Japanese businessman turned pirate. He served as the spokesman of the Lagoon Company, the type of person who was able to bring logic and reasoning to the table. And word on the street was he could take care of himself in a fight, even if he really didn't look it. Of course, for Revy, she couldn't stand when Rock was always trying to pass off a joke, always trying to make small talk. If he didn't know any better, he treated this whole job like he were working in some office cubicle, like he was trying to make conversation near the water cooler, talking about what you saw on TV last night. Not like you got good reception out here anyway. For now, they only had to make 3 stops. The first was to the local bartender and owner of the Gentleman's Club, Rowan. He was in need of alcohol, and the Lagoon Company had it in supply. All they had to do was make sure that the payments were squared and put away. Of course, for Revy, she had no problem making fun of Rock being in an establishment like this. All the cute girls in the skimpy clothes. Although for Rock, it didn't really sway him one way or another. "Oh, what? You're saying that you're too good for some of these broads?" Revy said with a grin. "Oh no, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I've been to plenty of establishments like this with my old boss. And let me say, once you've seen one pair of tits, you've seen them all. Not really all that exciting in the grand scheme of things." "Well, look at Mr. Prim and Proper over here. You know, Rowan, a guy like him, he wants to have the ideal lifestyle, getting married, having 2 kids, living in a nice established home. I bet he'll even mow the lawn on Saturdays." "Well, Saturdays are a good day to clean, you know. It's a way of getting everything set up for Sunday, which then leads into Monday, and then yeah, you and your days of the week. Rowan, the alcohol is going to be at the 15th warehouse. Make sure you have our payments." Yeah, Revy, don't worry. It's all good. And hey, make sure you bring your fine ass down here sometime. I promise you, Daddy Rowan gonna take good care of you now, Revy, if you ever come this way and just... I would never give you the satisfaction, you bastard. That's just like you, Revy. The next stop was Miss Balalaka, and her day was as mundane as ever. She had a meeting later on with the other mafia heads. They had to talk about the influx of drugs that were coming into Rowanapur, and they weren't being stricken to the adhered to shipments. Someone was selling without permission. And if that wasn't worse, she had to go through editing adult videos. And trust me, this job wasn't as glamorous as anyone could make it out to be. When it came to certain girls out here, well, they'd do just about anything if you paid them enough. And for Revy, well, there was one thing that was impressive. Hold on, she's going to take that all the way up the... What? But, oh God, she's putting in a... Miss Balalaka said. "Just kill me." "So, you're saying that the delivery's going to be a bit late?" Miss Balalaka would ask. "Yes, ma'am," Rock would say. "Unfortunately, we've been having a bit of trouble getting out to the southern part of the port, so it's only going to be a delay by a day or 2 at the most." "Well, that's not too bad. It's not like I can move the product right now anyway. Having this delay might actually be a benefit. Tell Dutch to keep me in touch of any new developments." "Yes, ma'am, will do." And then finally, their last stop was to pick up a shipment of guns from the rip-off church. Yes, even in Roanoke, there were still those who clung to religion. Of course, not everyone in Roanoke was a criminal, necessarily. And even for some that were, they still needed that good word, you know? Sometimes you wanted to believe that you had a blessing out there, even if you were sinning 24/7. For some, it's what let them sleep through the night, because more often than not, they had to grapple with the realization that God could never forgive them for the things that they did. And what use could God have for them in a forsaken city like Roanoke? As they arrived to the rip-off church, Rockwood noticed that there were some members who were taking clean linens from the truck. Of course, for clean linens, you would expect to take them into the bedrooms of the church, but instead, one of the sisters, Sister Ada, would instruct them to take them out to the barn. Why you would put clean linens in a barn didn't make too much sense, but Rock continued to be observant. Rock and Revy would have a meeting with the head sister of the church, Sister Yolanda, an older woman who wore an eye patch. It was obvious that this place was a front, and of course it was. This was where you got your guns and your other shipments, anything else that you might need, of course. As Rock was starting to put the two and two together, it all became clear, but of course, Rock would just sit back and enjoy the tea that was provided. They had the good stuff here, the kind of stuff you thought you could only find back in Japan. Of course, Revy had a short temper, and she didn't take too kindly to the fact that Sister Yolanda was trying to strong on them into a deal. You see, Lagoon Company had already put in an order for some specific gear, weapons, and other equipment, but there just so happened to be someone else who was also in need of those materials. Sister Yolanda, of course, was more than willing to sell to the Lagoon Company, but they'd have to do it at a discount or at double the price. Revy wasn't really trying to hear any of that and was more than ready to draw her gun, and Ada did the same, but Rock was going to allow for cooler heads to prevail. Now, Revy, there's no need for such violence. Not in the house of the Lord, of course. Spoken from a child, but as the good book says, from the mouth of babes, Sister Yolanda said. And this tea, it's truly exquisite. I know that this isn't just something that's made from the bag. No, this is good quality. It's nice to be in the company of those who can appreciate fine teas. Yes, you're right. Though, I have to say, there is something that's kind of been bothering me, Sister Yolanda. I don't think that I fully understand the situation, so maybe you could enlighten me. But of course, you see, when we were making our way up the hill, some of your members were taking clean linens and putting them in the barn. Now, I don't know about you, but normally when you have clean linens, you want to store them in a clean and secure place, would you not? So, wouldn't you want to store them inside the church by chance? Now, if you're having some issue with room, then that might be a possibility, but I have a sneaking suspicion that you've got more than enough room in a place like this. Or at the very least, you'd make some other arrangements. Not in a dingy, dirty barn, of course. Well, my son, times are hard these days. We all have to make sacrifices, of course. Yes, sister, that's indeed true. But there's also something else. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but a lot of the heads of the mafia families have been trying to figure out this weird conundrum. You see, there's been an influx of drugs coming into Roanoke, Now, of course, there are agreed upon territories where drugs can be sold, but it seems like someone's not really sticking to that program. And the darndest thing is, all the families have been searching for this drug dealer, and yet they're a mystery. There's no way of finding them. Now, my child, you wouldn't be insisting that our establishment would have anything to do with that now, would you? No, of course not. After all, Lagoon Company is a neutral party in the grand scheme of things. Even if we have had relations with the likes of Hotel Moscow, that doesn't mean that our goals always align, Rock would say. In the end, if this mysterious drug dealer is never found, I won't lose sleep over it. But I am someone that likes to help. So, if my information were to be beneficial to Hotel Moscow, I believe Miss Balalaka would reward us kindly. Wouldn't you agree? But I think we can avoid a situation like that. How about instead we just stick to the agreed upon price? Everyone's happy, everyone goes home, and Rowanapur doesn't have another unnecessary shootout. The grave sites are already filled with enough bodies. There's no need to add any more to them unnecessarily. I believe you and I can agree on this. The best course of death would be a natural one, in a way where we can all be called home to God respectfully. After all, we are His children. Like that of Solomon, you speak with wisdom, my child. Give them what they require, Sister Ada. Of course, Lady Yolanda. For Revy, she didn't like Rock very much. She wasn't quite sure. She couldn't put her finger on it. But she just hated him. As I sat at the market, with Rock bringing them 2 bowls of ramen, she felt like she'd had enough. Revy was attempting to light a cigarette while Rock was enjoying his meal. You should hurry up and eat that, Revy, before it gets cold. I mean, it's not like ramen that I have back at home, but it smells pretty good. I didn't ask you for a damn bowl of ramen, Rock. And if you got such a problem with it, why don't you just go back to Japan? Nah, I don't really have any intentions on doing that. You should. You don't belong here anyway. Besides, someone like you isn't really cut out for a place like this. Just give me back the keys. If I do that, then how am I going to get back home? It was a mistake bringing you along. You never should have been here. What's the matter, Revy? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter, he says. What's the matter? The matter is, it's you. Everything about you. You stick out like a sore thumb. You make me sick. Every time I have to look at you. Looking at your face. Your stupid, pathetic face. Maybe if you slap on that yellow bandana, then I can tolerate you. Then maybe I wouldn't have to hate you so much. But as it stands right now, I can't stand looking at you. Well, I'm sorry about that, Revy. I truly am. But you have your own issues that you're going to have to deal with. But I'd like to think that maybe you could learn a thing or two. That you can't solve everything with a gun. I mean, I am the one that prevented the chapel from turning into a bloodbath. Screaming and kicking out your frustrations isn't going to get you anywhere. And who the hell asked you that? You don't know a damn thing about me. Oh, I get it. Is this about our fight in the submarine? our philosophical disagreements. I'm sorry if that's really how you feel, Revy. But I won't apologize for what I said. What was that? I'm sorry, but I don't think I heard you right. You might want to be very careful with what you say next. Otherwise, I'm going to pop 2 in your head right now. You didn't mishear me. I'm not going to apologize. You're wrong, Revy. You're dead wrong. And if I am sorry for anything, I'm sorry that you've had to live in a world where no one could tell you that sooner. Okay, cocksucker, time to die. What do you want to be written on your tombstone? That there's no cure for a fool with a gun. You and I both know you're wasting your time pointing that damn thing at me. So, if you have any common sense, although I doubt that you do, you'll put your little toy away, quit with the temper tantrum, and eat your damn food. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to, Rock? I'm talking to the arrogant brat that doesn't know any better, Revy. But if you really want to do this now, well, fine then. Let's do it. Oh, you're really pushing it now, buddy. What? You think you're special around here, Rock? You think that you're somebody? Huh? Because you got your little fancy powers. Because you can do things that no one else can do. I said it before, and I'll say it again. There ain't nothing special about you, Rock. I kill you right now. Right now. I could do it just as easily if I wanted to. And once it's over, who do you think's gonna care about you? Like you said, you got no family. You got no one back at home. Your corpse is gonna rot in the middle of this fucking street. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's the good stuff. You know, Revy, you truly are amazing. I never knew you could be this pathetic. No wonder why Dutch doesn't trust you with anything. I mean, if this is the best that you can do, then I have to say, you truly are the dead weight of Lagoon Company. Shut up! Shut the hell up! No, you shut the hell up! Every single day, I have to listen to you whine and complain. Oh, woe is me. Look at my sad, pathetic life. Look at what I had to do to get stuck here. You act like you're the only one that's got any problems? You talk a big-ass game, and yet you fall in line like the rest of us. You act like you're something special, but really, you're nothing but a dog. You're supposed to be this heartless gunslinger, right? This outlaw that doesn't give a damn about anything. So why do you care now? What? Does my power scare you? Are you intimidated, Revy? Is that it? Oh, let me guess. You're jealous. That's right. You're jealous. You think that if you were in my position, your life would be better, huh? You think that if you were like me, you could have made a difference. You want my life so bad, but you don't know the first thing about what I've had to go through. What do you know? You think you're the only one who's had it rough? Can you imagine walking back home and seeing everyone you ever loved ripped and torn apart? So badly that you can't even recognize the body anymore, Revy. That's what happened to me. I came home one day and I saw my mother, my father, my brother, and my sister. All of them were ripped to shreds. And I tried desperately to find the bastard that killed them, but I couldn't. You know why? Because they were ripped by a fucking curse, Revy. They were ripped apart. I was angry. I was so angry. And the only way. You want to know how I got this power, Revy? You want to know how I got so strong? You really want to know? I got so powerful because I gave up my fucking hatred. That's the curse. That is my curse. The only way I can be this powerful is that I have to give up the very anger that fuels me. I have to give up the hatred that burns in my soul. The hatred that kept me going. The hatred that let me train till my fucking body was engulfed by fire. I sat in the belly of a fucking dragon and I crawled out. And even then, I had to give it all up. Because that's the gift and the curse, Revy. You don't want the life I've lived. You don't want this power. Even if you had it, it wouldn't bring you any satisfaction. The smile on my face is false. There's nothing true about it. But if you think that killing me is going to make you feel better, it's going to make you feel all big and important, then go ahead. Rock would place his forehead at the center of her gun. You're nothing but a killer, right? That's all you do. That's all you're capable of doing, right? All you can do is kill. Well, go ahead. Add another body to the list. If you think you got the balls to do it, then pull the damn trigger. Don't fuck with me, Rock. The gun would be fired, but it wasn't by Revy. In fact, Revy wasn't even the one holding the gun anymore. There was someone else. Someone that Revy hadn't seen in a long time. The side of Rock's head was scarred, but he was holding the hand of the assailant. You finally showed yourself, you bastard. I was wondering what was going to take you so long, Rock would say. How long until you finally showed yourself? Daddy? Revy would say. Don't be fooled, Revy. This isn't your father. It's a curse. You really think I was gonna let you mouth off to my baby girl like that and not step in? Cut the bullshit, Rock would say. You're not really her father. You're nothing but a damn curse. You're the one that's been tormenting her for all these years. You're the one that pushed her to be like this. Says you. I'm the one that's been protecting her. All of her gifts, they come from me. After all, she is my daughter. Rock, what's going on? This thing, Revy, it's a curse. It's the curse that's been eating at you for all this time. No, that's my dad. I know my dad. Rock, what are you... Revy, stay out of this. I'm going to save you. So just shut up, all right? No, Rock, stop it. Don't worry, Revy. I told you I'm going to protect you, no matter what. Immediately, Revy's father, Frank Castle, would kick away at Rock as he pulled out a semi-automatic and started firing right at him. Rock would take cover and dodge, moving away as Revy wasn't sure of what to do. A fight between her father and between Rock, the man she used to know and the man that she knew now. Her emotions were all over the place. She knew for a fact that her father was dead, but yet she could feel his presence. He was standing right before her, firing her way as Rock was trying to counter. The two of them engaged in combat. For Revy, her hand was trembling. She had another gun, but she wasn't sure what to do with it. No, he's not real. He can't be, but... No, I have to. I have to. Rock would continue his fight against Frank, the two of them fighting desperately to kill each other. For Rock, he was pouring everything into his blessed curse technique, his golden fist charging straight towards Frank, only for Revy to check him aside at the last moment. Revy, get away from him! No, leave him alone, Rock. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I have to. I just. It's okay, Revy. You don't have to be afraid anymore. You've been struggling for so long, fighting this world all on your own. It doesn't have to be that way. All you have to do is trust me. Just trust me, Revy. What's my name? My real name, not Revy. Do you really have that little face? Rebecca? Revy, don't! He's lying to you! Shut up, Rock! You're my... It's all right, sweetie. I promise you everything's going to be okay. No matter what, I will always care for you. Revy found herself embraced in the arms of her father. As they both turned, he would place a gun in her hand as Rock was getting to his feet. Her father would quickly shoot and detain him. Revy, don't! You just have to kill him, Revy. Don't worry. I'll be here for you no matter what. You can do it. After all, you're my daughter. This is what you were made to do. You're a killer, Revy. Go on. Rebecca, shoot him! Revy, please. Rock would attempt to fight away against him as they were now enthralled in battle once again. What are you waiting for? Shoot him! Revy, don't do this! Do it! Do it! What are you waiting for? Don't you want us to be together? We can put everything back! You just have to kill him. You're strong enough. Come on! How long are you going to keep being pathetic, Rebecca? Do it! As Revy held the gun in her hands, she could feel another force. Something that was almost compelling her to move her body against her will. She could hear these voices in her head. These lingering thoughts feeding into a frenzy of violence. Just shoot him, Revy. He doesn't care about you, Revy. He hates you, Revy. He tried to take everything away from you. Kill him, shoot him, murder him. Kill him, shoot him, murder him. Just do it, Revy, her father said. Do it, you dumb bitch! Revy raised her gun. Frank, taking the butt of his own, smashed it across Rock's head, knocking him to the ground. As Rock looked up, he saw where Revy was pointing the gun. He had to focus his energy to his face and main part of his body, fearing for the worst. Multiple shots would be fired, but they weren't towards Rock. They were at Frank. You're not my dad. I don't know what the hell you are, but you're not him, you bitch! So that's how it is. Frank's body once again would contort and change, changing from the man that she used to know, and instead it turned into a ghoulish monster of Frank Castle Sr. I thought we had something special, Revy. All you had to do was kill and feed me. Feed me darkness, and I would protect you. I have been the one protecting you for all this time. Who do you think gave you that power? The power to stand up for yourself. The power to look a motherfucker in the eye and shoot him. I still know what you are. You're still the same helpless, pathetic little bitch you always were. Crying for your mommy and your daddy as they got turned into Swiss cheese. I'm the one that saved you when that cop was having his way with you, Revy. Or did you forget? Did you forget how helpless you were? How pathetic you were? The way you were just going to take it. You were going to let him treat you like a piece of street-walking trash. You were just going to end up as somebody's bottom bitch until I came along. I put this in your heart. I made you a killer. More of a killer than you ever could have been. There's nothing special about you, Revy. You were right about one thing. No one's gonna remember you. No one's gonna care when you're nothing but a mangled corpse on the street. When I'm done with you, you'll be a forgotten memory of this world. You won't even get a grave. And then again, you're better off for it. Because at the very least, a grave should be dedicated to those that were worth a darn. But not you. A grave would be too good for you. Shut up. Stay away from me. What's the matter, Revy? Did you lose that fire? That spark? Where's all of that ferocity you used to have? Don't tell me it's all burnt out now. We're just getting started. I'm gonna take my time with you. I want you to beg. I want to hear you scream. Stay away from her! Rock would appear out of nowhere as he kicked the curse in the face, knocking him back. Well, would you look at that? The little pussy's finally decided to be a man. Like you? Rock would say. Don't worry, your words don't really affect me very much. I can't let them. One of the last descendants of Kung Lung. So, you know about it. All curses know. Your power, an abomination to our sacred arts. And yet you call yourself a jujutsu sorcerer. The key word is was. Quite frankly, you can call me whatever you want. That hits the spot. Let going of one's own anger and hatred. What power could possibly come from that? Joy. You focus so much on what's lost that you forget about what's gained. I gain a peace of mind that surpasses all others. I'm given a level of joy and freedom that I refuse to let you curses take away from me. Perhaps I'll never be the full-blooded killer that Revy wants, but that doesn't apply to you. You see, I don't have to strike you down with anger. I can strike you down with joy. Because let me tell you, nothing brings me more pleasure than killing a curse. The cursed Frank Castle would charge towards Rock, as Rock would avoid and evade every single punch, every kick. This curse was modeled after the late Frank Castle. His curse energy was through the roof, but it was nothing that Rock couldn't counter. Now, the Dragon's Requiem! Rock's golden fist would begin to connect with the curse. Every strike is filled with my joy. This is a glorious occasion. On this day, I strike down my enemy. That brings me peace. For the safety and tranquility of this world, I leave you cursed with a blessing. That you may find peace in the next life. Like that'll ever happen. You think you can kill me? Go ahead and try, bitch. As you wish. With a few sound strikes, Rock would drag the curse to its knees. As Revy watched on in amazement, Rock was able to dissuade every curse attack that was thrown towards him. Until finally, the curse had shrunken down in size. Whoa! What have you done to me? Every time you were struck with my Dragon Requiem, I took down more and more of your cursed energy, reducing you to what you truly are. You're nothing but a pathetic monster. You fed on a poor innocent girl's weakness. Innocent? She's far from innocent. All I did was influence her. She's still a killer, a monster, and ow! Shut your mouth. I'm going to finish you off once and for all. Wait! Revy would walk next to Rock, looking down at the creature that had been infesting her mind. This thing was inside of me? Yeah. It's a cursed spirit. It feeds on the negative emotions of those around it. My guess is after you've been through what you've been through, it's been latching itself onto you for so long, trying its best to feed off of all the negativity that's been in your life. Don't play innocent, the curse said. You're no saint, Revy. You're a monster, a murderer. You're pathetic, Revy. Pathetic! Oh, you are a killer. You are a liar. You're a monster. I fed off of the evil you committed. I am the embodiment of your sins. I deserve to live. You should be punished. There won't be salvation for you. You'll rot in hell, you hear me? You're pathetic, Revy. Pathetic! Ah! Enough! Ah! With a final strike, the curse would be killed, and Revy would be left in the realization of what she was. It doesn't matter what he says. I know what I am, Rock. Revy, you don't have to. It's alright. For so long, I always thought that there was a boogeyman out there. Always thinking that I could blame my lot in life on someone. I guess I truly am pathetic, aren't... Rock would immediately pull Revy into a hug. Shut up. It doesn't matter anymore. I can't say that you're a good person, Revy. Good or bad, that's not for me to decide. In the end, we're only human. Try as we might, we'll never live the good and innocent lives. It doesn't matter what happens. Right now, you're in control of what you are and what you want to be. Be what you want to be, Revy. A curse isn't born from good or evil, it's born from regret. Live your life with no regret, Revy. It's impossible. Maybe it can never happen, but that's what you should strive for. It's what we all strive for every day. Immediately, Rowaniper's corrupt police would arrive. Unfortunately, Revy and Rock subsequently could see everything that was happening, but to everyone else around, it looked like they just destroyed the joint. Now, of course, these corrupt cops weren't the type of people who would be holding any charges, but they had to do something. As the sun would set over Rowaniper, both Rock and Revy sat in the back of the squad car together as they aimlessly drove their way to the police precinct. For Revy, she wasn't sure what to feel now. On one hand, there was this weight that was seemingly lifted off of her shoulders. But at the same time, she knew that it didn't change anything. She was who she was, and nothing was going to change that about her. But at least she had clarity. And as much as she would hate to admit it, it was thanks to this Mr. Straight and Narrow over here that she'd ever gotten it. I still hate you, you know, Revy would say. Yeah, I figure as much. And I can't believe I got stuck with a creep like you. You have to look at those ugly things all the time? I feel bad for you. It's not the most glamorous job in the world, but someone has to do it. So you clear those things out in Rowaniper whenever you get the chance, huh? Well, you try to keep them from getting too big. They're usually around that size anyway, so exercising them is no big deal. I guess you really are some type of hero, huh? In the end, whose side are you really on, Rock? Look at me, Revy. I'm right here, aren't I? I'm right where I need to be. Hey, can you light this? I don't have a lighter on me. What are you talking about? You've got one right there. For Lagoon Company, the missions came and they went. Some easy, some not so easy. But everyone had a role to play. And when they executed their roles, everything went smoothly. Eventually, though, one mission came along that was a bit odd, to say the least. Nothing new, but there was a lot of strangeness to it. You see, it all started with a boy. A boy named Garcia Lovelace, of the Lovelace family. One of the 13 noble families of South America. This part of the story involves a maid. A maid who traveled all the way to Rowanapur to bring back her young master. To many, she seemed quite ordinary. She carried around an umbrella and a briefcase with large, circular-rimmed glasses, her hair tied neatly into a ponytail. No one would suspect anything much about her, save for her being in the wrong part of town. But little did they know she was exactly where she wanted to be. Because you see, in a world full of monsters, sometimes you have to face something even worse. A demon, if you will. And let me tell you this. This maid, this ordinary maid, was anything but a monster. She truly was a demon of this world. But for the few that knew who she truly was, she went by another name. A name she hadn't been called in years. But you could say she was definitely a taskmaster. This concludes Black Lagoon, City of the Dead. What if Revy was the Punisher? Season 1, Part 4. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow as we continue with Black Lagoon, City of the Dead. What if Revy was the Punisher? Season 1, Part 5. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.